In the last 25 years, there have been 417 school shootings in the United States, and more than 383,000 students have experienced gun violence while at school.
More children and adolescents are killed by guns each year than anything else nationwide.
How many times do we have to come to the floor to demand that our colleagues take action to end the gun violence crisis that is traumatizing our children and tearing families apart?
A man who should never have had access to an assault weapon murdered 20 children and 6 staff at Sandy Hook Elementary School. 15 first graders murdered in a bathroom by a man with an assault rifle.
As our mayor, do you consider gun violence an important issue for our community, and why?
I do believe it's an important issue for our community here in Long Beach and all of our communities across the country.
But for the city of Long Beach, guns are of concern. They can be used irresponsibly or used in violent crime. So that's our concern at the police department.
Over the years, the U.S. school shootings increased by 124%, having 327 shootings in just 1 year, taking the lives of kids and staff, cutting their lives short, and scarring others for life.
A mass shooting at a splash pad with families in Rochester Hills, Michigan, where 9 people were shot, including 2 children. That is okay, that is normal. Behind these numbers are real people in our communities, families who are directly forever again impacted and traumatized by these senseless shootings.
In the U.S., 13.8 out of 100,000 people died from gun-related violence, the third highest ever in history. Meanwhile, we sit back, the rates are going up and more people are dying.
Our students, families, and communities deserve to feel safe from gun violence. That means taking action, not just talking about it, and I believe we can do that together with responsible gun owners.
At schools, I feel like there's just kind of not enough I don't feel very secure, right? You know, school is kind of like your second home, right? You spend so much time here, you should feel safe.
Universal background checks, safe storage laws, and banning assault weapons. These are mainstream ideas supported by the vast majority of the American people. They're about saving lives.
The majority of Americans are concerned of their loved ones falling under the epidemic of gun violence. Not just a concern, but a fear of losing your loved one to a firearm.
I feel like the news, we have a lot of negativity bias on the news, right? There's always a story about something bad happening, right? So when we see all that, our lives is like, we're like miserable, right? And especially there's a bunch of like shootings on the news, right? So I feel like it does have that kind of negative effect on our lives that we should be kind of scared, right?
I just don't think that people, ordinary civilians should have guns at all, like plenty of other countries, they just don't allow the people to have guns, and then it's not a problem. People don't get shot at school.
The gun violence rates skyrocketing is now the leading cause of death in children and teens. The U.S. alone has 17 times the average firearm rate among other countries.
A 6-year-old girl played dead among the bodies of her classmates. She was the only one to survive in that room. Covered in blood, the first thing she said was, "Mommy, I'm okay, but all my friends are dead."
This is why I introduced the Safe Storage, Safe Lives Act to require gun locks like this one to be provided for every firearm sold in our country. This is common sense solution to save lives.
Is there something that the federal government or president could do after Inauguration Day that would help reduce gun violence in the U.S.?
Call on Congress to deliver comprehensive gun reform, common sense, comprehensive, bipartisan gun reform.
Shot
right here on my shoulder, and then around here, right wrist.
I was saying that 383,000 students in our country, the United States of America, have been exposed to violence. That same scene that you experienced in your school.
I do. I want to finish that story because no parent should go through this. I want to just finish what, the experience. You do not know what feels until it's you.
This is out of control, and it's time we face it head on. I'll work with anyone, Republicans, Democrats, and independents, to make sure that happens. It's not just about policy, it's about people. And people are dying. We can't wait any longer.